I now call Leeton Shire Council's June 2025 Ordinary Council meeting to order, the time being 6:33 p.m. Good. Welcome, councillors, staff and members of the community in the gallery and online as well. Thank you very much. You'll see us quite well up there. I remind everyone that in the spirit of open, accessible and transparent government, this meeting of the Leeton Shire Council is being streamed live on Council's social media account and then recorded, will be uploaded at Council's website. Please stand. I ask Councillor Pynan to do the civic prayer and Councillor Kidd to do the announcement. Councillor Pynan.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Leeton Shire Council acknowledges the Wiradjuri people and their continued impact on our community. We acknowledge their connection to the land, water and sky. We acknowledge all Aboriginal people who have made Leeton Shire their home, and as such, we pay our respects to all Aboriginal elders, past, present and emerging in our Shire.
Thank you very much. Could you all please? Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Are there any apologies of all councillors online for tonight's meeting, General Manager?
Mr. Mayor, Councillor Tiffin is an apology for this evening and Councillor Mayton is an apology for lateness.
Good, thank you. Thank you very much, General Manager. Can I have a move in a second of that? We have the right of the time. Right. All in favour? Thank you. Before I start, I must apologise. My throat's gone. I caught something while I was laying in Canberra. I think it's going around, so I'll do my best. Right, next we will move on to the confirmation of minutes. Now we know that there's two sets of minutes and have been circulated. One is the minutes for ordinary council meeting held on Tuesday, the 27th of May, 2025. And the second is the minutes of the extraordinary council meeting held on Tuesday, the 10th of June, 2025. Councillor Kidd, you have a public statement in regard to a matter that you moved at the extraordinary meeting. Relation to Googly Weir. That seemed to be a good time. Please proceed.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor, for the opportunity to do that. A question has been made to the General Manager as to the nature of my relationship with a potential private investor at Googly Weir. For the public record, I advise I have no personal or pecuniary interest with this person. They approached the Googly Weir caretakers, who subsequently informed the Weir Committee at a meeting. I reached out to the person twice to better understand what they were proposing, but at this stage there has been no follow-up beyond those early chats. Importantly, I advise everyone that Council would not be able to go into any direct dealings with a private investor without the opportunity first being advertised publicly. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Kidd. And I'd like to add that as well. I haven't met the fellow at all, and I don't know how to ask his name, actually, to tell you the truth. But thank you very much for that. With that now sorted, can I please call for a move and a second that the two sets of the minutes are true for a record of a meeting on the 27th of May, the 10th of June. Councillor Tynan and Councillor Edwards, thank you very much.
June 10 with a correction. Mover of one of the was the name's not correct.
All right.
I can't remember specifically which one it was.
Have you mentioned that before tonight?
I've mentioned it already too.
I've got to move in a second. I'm going to make sure that they're happy with what we're going to talk about.
Sorry, Mr. Mayor, I was just about to say, I think I was omitted on the meeting June 10 as an apology. If it's just like to be checked, please. Just further in the mentioned.
Yeah, let's just check that right away. So when you say you were omitted as an apology?
As being listed as an apology.
Yes. Because we definitely did in your apology, but
and it was further on in further minutes in when things were referred to with the special meeting,
Which is not on the front page.
front page.
Okay,
I just wanted to maybe note it.
we can.
The correct procedure was.
Correction.
Thank you.
That'd be good. And sorry, Mr Mayor, could councillor Kidd repeat the first one? Was a date was incorrect?
No, the name of a councillor that moved a motion.
Okay. So you're aware of that?
It was noted as councillor Nicholas Edwards.
Okay.
Can I just,
I think.
Right.
can I just say, I've got to move in a second for the May 2025 one first. So those corrections are of the second one, extraordinary, isn't that right?
Yeah, we were taking both together, but if you.
Councillor Tynan and Councillor Edward, happy to put two together. That's the extraordinary meeting on the 10th and the other one on the 27th.
Notes to the procedural amendments as well. Yep, too easy.
Okay, all right then. Put the motion, all in favour? Aye, those against? Thank you very much. Are there any disclosure of interest to be declared this evening? Councillor, please stand and advise for the record if there are any. No, thank you. Thank you. Moving on to procedural motions. Councillor Nardi, you wish to move a procedural motion about the order of events this evening. If you still wish to do, can you raise it now, please?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Yes, through you, I'd like to bring forward item 8.1.3.
Do I have a seconder? Of the kid. General Manager, do we have any members of the public wishing to speak this evening?
Through you, Mr Mayor, can we just put that last motion before we go on to the members of the public?
Oh, sorry, you did right, yeah. So we had a move and a seconder that we'll have a procedure motion for members of the public to bring forward 8.1.3. Are we in favour?
Can I just clarify?
Sure.
That means we're going in the order of 8.1.3, 8.11 and 8.12.
And it will take preference over burial minutes and other things as well. So it will be the first item that we discuss, and then we'll go to burial minutes and all the council.
So we're aware what we're voting for? We're bringing forward. So I'll put the motion. All in favour? Those against? Good, thank you. All right then. General Manager, I was asking about anybody to speak.
Yes, through you, Mr Mayor. We have one speaker, Mr Rod Harrison, speaking to item 8.1.3.
Rod, come forward. You've got 3 minutes to give your. Could someone calm that, please?
Would you mind standing here so we can record it on the next to the thing would be good?
Yes, mate.
Yeah, I'm still being strict this minutes.
Firstly, thank you, Mr Mayor and councillors, for hearing some of the information that I have. I'm Rod Harrison, President of Leeton United Football Club. This year, I just want to give a brief outline of what numbers we have playing soccer down at the town ovals, and the whole sporting precinct down there. This year, our numbers are around 220 local junior players, 64 kids playing in our rep teams for Leeton in the Griffith and in the Griffith competition. We have 4 senior grades, which is another 72 players playing in the football Wagga competition. That's a total of approximately 350 participants. Teams travel to Leeton from Griffith, Wagga, Cootamundra, Young and Junee. We start our season early in January with the Macron Cup, which consists of 8 matches, 4 teams, and some of these teams are across New South Wales, Victoria and South Australia. Training and games, we start our serious training in February to September each year. Number 2 and number 3 are occupied for these training sessions. We have approximately 60 senior matches over 4 grades on number 2 oval and number 3 oval per season. 144 junior games played on number 2 oval. And that's usually every Saturday morning. Training per week, we've got 16 training sessions per week, over 30 weeks, equivalent to 480 sessions across number 2 and number 3 oval. This year, a new competition has started with walking soccer with approximately 26 players, 2 games per week. Some of the issues that we're finding down there since moving most of our games to number 2 oval, there's no seating for our spectators. The lighting is not up to standard for night games, which we kick off at 5 o'clock in the afternoon and go through to about 7:30. So the lighting on number 2 and number 3 aren't up to the standard of number 1 oval. There's not enough storage for approximately 200 soccer balls, 16 pop-up goals, a line marking machine, 3 trolleys that we use for training with all of our bibs, agility poles.
Thank you, Rod. Thank you. Thank you for your free minutes, my friend. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Yep.
I would like to have any questions?
Yes, you are allowed questions.
Yeah, any questions of Rod?
Yes, Rod, what's the situation with futsal regarding the stadium?
Futsal, we're currently playing that out on the 2 vacant tennis court.
Mm-hmm.
We found this year that that's also being outgrown with the number of teams that we've got. So we have to look for an alternative. We play our juniors inside the stadium, and we're using the 2 courts 1 night a week. But we could, if there was more room inside the stadium, we'd move those other 2 games inside the stadium, but it's very hard to get a booking twice a week. Once a week's about as much as we can get with all the other sports that are going on in the stadium.
So there are obviously constraints being imposed by capacity.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you. Councillor Tyler?
This would have been really wonderful to have heard a few weeks ago. We had a big event for this purpose, and there was only one group of people to advocate this thing. It would have made a significant difference in my thinking to if we had lots of community engagement. I think a lot of the engagement has come from councillors downwards, but we need things to come from the grassroots up.
Yeah.
That's my first statement, comment. The second question was that, yes, there's capacity limits there. Has any exploration of over at the MIA club facilities over there, has that sort of been investigated?
That's privately owned.
Is it?
And we've come up with roadblocks there for the past 20 odd years.
Yep.
That it's privately owned, we can't get grants, can't put up the activities with track by car shadows over there. There's no public toilets. Very limited to what we can actually do there.
So to solve your problem, you'd like more storage?
Yes, a lot more storage,
You'd like better lights,
better lights,
and you'd like more seats.
more seating, covered seating for spectators. So that
So
they're not
light
standing
storage.
out in the rain.
They're the 3 main things.
Dressing rooms, more suitable dressing rooms. At the moment, we've got referees that come from Wagga. One comes from Temora, one comes from Young. They get changed in our canteen because there's not enough room in the dressing rooms. They store their bags in our canteen while we're serving food from that canteen. There's no facilities for them to shower after the games because the limited amount of showers down there are usually taken up by the players that are travelling back to, outside the district anyway.
Mr. Mayor, may I just have a brief address to the audience, please? Because what I want to emphasise is that if community, I'll do that or not?
Yeah, any questions? Question. Thank you, Rod. Any more questions of Rod?
I was just going to check with Rod. I'm assuming because most of your activities are based, I thank you for giving us the insight to how the season's travelling, which is wonderful to hear so many people actively participating. You just highlighted, and I'm assuming all your activities are taking place on Oval 2 and 3.
Yes.
And you have limited access or can't access Oval 1.
Very
just,
limited.
just because of the other sports occurring over the weekend as well?
I've just been made aware that there was a conversation between council and previous people on our committee that we're only to play 3 games on number 1 per year.
Okay.
Now, I don't know where that conversation's come from, but we're unfortunate that our draw comes out last after rugby league and rugby union. We try and slot in when they're not using that facility. This year there were 6 spots and we've only been given 3.
Okay. I thank you. I mean, it's wonderful. We've got such great numbers of people
Yeah.
doing things. I'm very pleased to hear that. How are your toilet facilities down there as well? I'm very familiar with that after many years of sport. I'm imagining apart from the change rooms, the toilet facilities are getting very tight and
They're very tired and very unhygienic sometimes. I think we've had issues with cleaning not being done on a regular basis. That's been brought to the attention of council and that has improved over the last couple of weeks, but we constantly run out of toilet paper. We haven't got access to fill the toilet rolls up. So we're just putting the rolls into the toilets and they're getting damaged by the end of the day.
All right, any more, I emphasise questions. Rod, any more questions? Councillor Wright.
Mr. Hello, Rod. Nice to meet you. So just to confirm, the main issues are there's no seating at number 2 Oval, storage, the changing in bathroom facilities, and the indoor stadium could use more capacity as well.
Yes.
So would you be willing to participate in a future consultation process?
Yes, yes.
Because I think that there are so many competing needs for everything in that precinct that, I mean, you might agree that we probably need to plan it as a whole entity to get everything right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to see a sporting club committee formed out of this.
Wow.
And we can put all of our plans in place and find out what other sports need down there at the sporting precinct, and then be able to approach council for meetings and put our advice forward as well.
In a unified way.
Yeah,
you mean?
yes, yeah.
Well, that sounds really good, Rod, and I think I'd like to see things go in a less of a piecemeal planned way.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for your time.
thank you.
Thank you, Rod. You're a dedicated community member for many, many years, and thank you for all your hard work. Now, I found out actually, right? We normally have, you have put your name forward if you want to say a few words, right? But as mayor, apparently, I can ask people if anybody else wants to speak tonight from the gallery.
Yeah, I'll speak up.
All right.
A bit scared.
Just got 3 minutes. Just give your name, please.
Hello, my name is Brooke Gilmore. This has been a topic that a lot of us have been discussing for a while down at the high school ovals. So across the road from the high school, the toileting facilities there are pretty disgusting. I don't know the last time they have been updated. Not in my lifetime. There are no, it is very embarrassing to hold any sporting event there. Both male and female toilets. Some of the toilets don't work. Some don't have a door on the toilet facility. There are no disabled toilets. A recent event we had disabled lady go into the disabled toilets and she couldn't fit her wheelchair into the toilet, so had to leave the toilet door open while she used the toilet, and it was quite embarrassing for all involved, even people walking in and into the bathroom after that. So it's a pretty poor reflection on our sporting groups when that's all we can provide. There is athletics, junior rugby league, the high school groups, all the schools use that oval for their athletics carnivals. What other sports are down there? Cricket's down there. Then we have various other teams. I know the Crows, the AFL team, and sometimes the rugby league teams go down there to use that facility for training, depending on where number one oval is up to or the showground is up to. It's constantly somebody down on that oval. And we really need to look at that for the toilet facilities. We do have, and do you want to add to this, Steve-O, about the grant?
Perhaps you can talk later.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's why we're all here. To discuss the facilities down there at the high school.
Yeah, thank you very much. Those ones you're talking about are not actual council.
No, and this is the tricky part we come across because it's Crown land. And the high school is currently taking care of overseeing that. We all need to come together to find a solution. It's just passing the buck and not working.
Thank you very much. Any questions of this Mark?
Gilmore.
Brooks up with Jude League.
Rugby and
for those.
yeah, and then teaching. Sometimes I have to come down to that facility as well with my job, and it's.
What sort of numbers are you looking at as registered players in your league, for example, or Little A's?
Little A's is close to 300, thereabouts. Junior rugby league, Sivo, 320. Cricket, any idea? 50 to 100. And then the school group. So every school has a carnival down there, which includes family members coming in to watch their children run, and so that can be a whole school. Several times a year as well. So.
Thank you. Any more?
Gala days, yes.
Councillor Wright.
The Phantoms have their gala days.
Phantoms have their gala days there as well, yes. And then on top of, so we have most weekends there's a sporting group that's down there using the whole facility for the whole day, and there can be hundreds of people down there. So if we've got 300 for our junior rugby league, another club's bringing another 300 kids to compete, plus families. So, and that's most weekends.
Good, Councillor Wright.
Thank you.
I just wondered, it seems like this sporting ground, which is opposite my work at the TAFE, I see all the cars parked there and I think, oh, I'm the only one without a big wheel drive.
Yeah.
But it seems like it needs to be taken into account as part of any kind of planning that we do for the sports needs of the town.
Yeah.
But it isn't, it's not, you're saying it's not a part of, it's Crown land run by the school. So are there any other sporting facilities outside of the, the Palm Avenue precinct and outside of that you think needs to be part of any consideration of as a whole of sport?
Well, off the top of my head, Mark Taylor Oval doesn't have toilet facilities over there. It doesn't have any.
Limited.
Limited.
Be part of them.
And then if you move to the showground, then there are things there, but then that's taken care by the showground. I don't think there is any other sporting facilities. There's school ovals, but they're all governed by, and there's restrictions on availability to work on.
That's still a fair bit outside of that number 1, 2, 3 oval kind of area. So it sounds like, I mean, I wonder if you rattled off some figures. Do you have figures for like going further back? Do you keep those figures?
I know all the clubs do.
Yeah.
I sort of just jumped on this one in the last 12 months with everybody else that's been trying to get this, doing something for this sporting area.
Because I just feel like, tell me if you agree, I feel like we can probably predict and look
Yeah, absolutely.
forward to the long term. If we're gonna build, if we're gonna,
They're definitely on the.
but I feel like I would love it if all the sporting clubs would actually,
Yeah.
really like Rod's idea of a committee.
Absolutely, that was a great idea, Myra.
And bringing that information together to help council plan.
Yep.
Because obviously, we should try and get things fixed where they're broken. In terms of building new things, and
Yes,
we want to make sure it's fit for the future. We don't want to build something that's not going to be enough.
yes, absolutely. And that oval down there, I mean, they've had the car parks all done up and it's great. They've done the sprinkler system, which besides a few hiccups this season, there's been a lot of work put into that oval. It'd be a shame not to continue to keep using it just because of a toileting facility. And, with that is one end is storage for the different clubs, and then the canteen also needs an upgrade. That hasn't been done in my lifetime either.
Any more?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, to the general manager and whoever's relevant, I just wondered, Rod alluded to communications, did you allude to some communications that might have happened already between council and
Right.
Department of Ed and everything? Do we have records of that going back? What the relationship is and what we've asked from the department and what they've said?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, I'm sure there are records, but the time for that discussion is back in the council meeting, not in the
Yeah.
forum.
We've got to ask questions.
The right process. It can answer it there.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Councillor Maiden, thank you.
Aye.
I'll take it, any more people saying anything? I'll take it as a no then. Right.
Yes. That one? There.
Yeah, we're now moving back into council. Here we are. Yeah. May I have a mover and a second, thank you. Mover, Councillor Kidd, second by Councillor Tyner. Yellow. Okay. No, okay. Mayor Minute, all right. There be no Mayor Minute this evening. We will proceed to item 8.1.3. Adoption of the suite of integrated planning and reporting documents on page 28 of the agenda. So council, do you understand what we're doing?
I'm confused about the number.
We brought it forward, 8.1.3. 8.1.3, we'll have a recommendation in it.
Oh, we're still on 8.1.
We come back into council.
All right, sorry.
Move that report forward,
Yeah.
and we're going to debate this one.
Mr. Mayor?
Yeah.
We can debate this one coming up now.
I need a move and a seconder. I need a motion and move and a seconder. So do I have one?
No.
Did Councillor Morris. All right, so that is being moved by Councillor Kidd, seconded by Councillor Morris. The recommendation is there on the page 28. I just got to catch up, page 28. Thoughts?
Maybe on page 27, Mr. Mayor.
Is it?
Thanks.
25, 26, 27. Well, the recommendation put forward by the staff and being moved and seconded by Councillor Kidd, moved and seconded by Councillor Morris, is that the council integrated planning and reporting IPNR documents as present. I have a figure for that.
I'm happy to speak for it if somebody's
Anybody close?
speaking against.
Right. Well, we have 2 for, 2 against, so
Make an amendment to this.
amendment, all right. So what's your amendment?
Item 3.2.2 on page 69 of the document. Maintain and operate the Leeton Golf Club. Note there that it's proposed to be done for 4 years. I thank Councillor Kidd for drawing my attention to the amount of money that has gone to the golf club over the 12 years, I've calculated it's an average of $94,000 per annum. I think that is a very long time for a council to be subsidising a sport which isn't really a foundation sport for the kids. I'd like to see the last 2 years, the 27, 28, 28, 29 funding for that project wiped out and redirected towards the soccer request that Rod had made before. That's what I would like to make.
I need a seconder for your amendment.
So, but where would the money be going? Adam, would the money be going to?
It would be taken from the last 2 years of the golf club funding on the basis that they've had 1.4 million over the last 12 years. Take the last 2 years of funding from the golf club. That would give 2 years to bring this exit council from the golf club subsidy and direct that to the soccer facilities that we had just heard about covered seating, the storage, the lights and whatever.
Those items aren't in there though.
Yes, but that's what I'm proposing, to move that money at the very least to.
Mr. Mayor,
I need a seconder before we debate that.
I have a procedural
Question.
So Ed,
Question.
seconded that. Yep.
No, I said the seconder.
I have a procedural question. Seems that if there's going to be a motion to move money from somewhere to somewhere else, there has to be a somewhere else stated in the motion, whether it means you create a line item or something that you should, I think we should say that what we're creating a line item for.
Yeah, I'll talk to the general manager of the finance.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, could we just clarify from councillor Tynan, is your aim to reduce the golf club investment or to move the golf club's money to another sporting?
The aim is to find an exit point for the council.
Yep.
Okay, we've been subsidising the golf club since 2012. I believe it is to the tune of, say it again, of 1.4 million, 94,000 per annum. I think that money can be better spent on the broader community, like the foundational sports. So what I'm proposing is that I'm aware that there's been discussion amongst councillors of taking $100,000 from the general fund for some more scoping studies. There's a word for that. I believe that that money for that purpose can come from the golf club budget that's set here and be applied to that item that we've been discussing.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So thank you for clarifying that, councillor Tynan, because initially I thought you were saying from the golf club to football, but I think I'm hearing from the golf club and use that money for the greater sporting precinct.
Yes, but allowing 2 years of extra funding so that the golf club can wean themselves off our money.
Okay.
The last 2 years.
Yeah, so keep the first 2 years coming up, but final 2 years, 27, 28, 28, 29, back to the general fund.
All right, I just wanted to double check what I'm doing actually. So you've moved it and seconded by councillor, right? That's an amendment to
Edward.
remote it. I have to ask if we want to have to add it. Moving a second, of the motion, are you happy to add that to it?
Because I'm sorry, it's not on the screen, but the amendment would effectively be restrict the golf club subsidy for the first 2 years only and not in year 3 and 4.
If you were looking for 95, if you were looking for $100,000 and it's 95, the average subsidy for the golf club is 95,000, then that would only really need 1 year. Bearing in mind that the golf club is standing on one recently has, it's just about to open its clubhouse, which should reduce the need for subsidy.
Are you happy to add? If not, we have to debate the amendment as well.
You happy with that, Sandra?
I didn't second it.
Oh,
Seconded.
I was against. Sorry. My apology.
Mr. Mayor, I've probably just had a couple of thoughts, that's all, regarding this matter. It had always been council's intention to hand it back to the golf club to manage themselves in the future. It has been a longer story than had originally been planned. I am pleased to say it has been reducing each year, and I think this current year, and I'm just talking from memory, I think we're down to 60,000. We've actually subsidised them. I think the building of the clubhouse certainly proves that they do intend to stand on their own, and they've done they've put their money forward and invested in their future, which they've always intended to do. I'm not sure whether we ever had a written contract of what notice we would give them to, and I think that would need to be considered to give them that there is an end date. Should we just decide to cut it tonight? That's one of my concerns. I'm not sure that cutting just one, I don't intend to use that money then just to prop up somebody else. I think we've talked about this holistic picture. And if we were to consider doing this for one sport, I think it would be the precinct of those ovals. I would be looking to redirect money to not just one sport in particular. I'm not saying that the sport doesn't need it, but I just think we need to tackle this problem holistically if we're going to do it, and just putting that forward on the table this evening now at short notices.
Do I understand that moving the second now?
Yeah, so I'm not comfortable with just the proposal as it's been put forward.
Councillor Kidd?
I'm uncomfortable for those reasons, but you may be counting chickens before they're hatched.
Oh,
This is I guarantee.
That is a no, so we might have to just debate the amendment by itself.
Yes. So the first motion is to actually procedurally, does anyone want to discuss the procedure of having the amendment?
So we've got amendment, right? Now, are you happy to go ahead and debate the amendment? I need a motion moved by councillor Tyne, second by.
Motion's on the table, but
right.
we've got to we've got to actually vote for the amendment to become the motion.
That's right. Yeah, you have that. So, all in favour? Those against? It's lost. And we're back to the original motion. Any more amendment? All right, did you want? Yeah.
I just want to say thank you to all the people who spoke in the gallery tonight. And I think it's good to be able to understand and listen to everybody's opinions about what the facility, the whole facility of the sporting precinct, including Mark Taylor Oval and the high school ovals, could be needed for our shire. I do think that Rod Harrison's suggestion of a bit of a working group might be a great idea. To get people within the community involved, because at the end of the day, it's the volunteers, the parents, the children, and everybody else who's involved in these sporting clubs that are the ones that are using it. So I feel like we need to listen to them first and then make our decisions from there. So basically, moving forward, I'd just like to say thank you, and I hope that we can come to some form of moving forward strategy for the whole of the sporting police.
All right, we had a move in a second. I'll ask somebody for and against.
Statement.
Pardon?
I just add to councillor Nutty's statement.
I'd like to get the debate for and against the motion there. People are giving comments at the moment, and we really need to get down to for and against the motion. So I take it, councillor Knight.
Also includes the entire IPNR suite of documents. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So are we seeking statements, or are we seeking debates against? Because as
the motion's on the table,
I'm unsure whether I can support this due to what I feel is not the most potential form of spending, casting potential risk in the future funds for debt and other things. So at this stage, I am unsure whether I can support this motion as is.
All right, I had 1 for, 1 against. Yeah, are you for the motion? We go 1 against.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, councillors. I vote for this motion because it is a very well considered suite of documents that it's in the name, integrated. It's everything depends on everything else. We did spend a lot of time on the 10th of June debating details and some of the larger spending items. And we're also going to have a deep look into the financial sustainability of council with Professor Drew, and that process is underway and will come to fruition before the next budget, which I expect to be a very different proposition than what we have tonight. I feel like tonight we have a holdover budget. I feel that the council staff under the general manager have done their best to minimise the deficit. It is a lot lower at around approximately $2 million than it has been on average for the past year, which has been an average of $5 million a year over the past 10 years. So I feel that given that we haven't had the full report from Dr. Drew and that we haven't addressed the issue of the special rate variation or the revenue that council takes in, I don't think that it's sensible to expect this budget to be able to fix our problems that we have. I think it's made a valiant attempt, and I'm looking forward to next year or to the rest of this coming year that where we will solve those problems.
Right, thank you. Speaking of motion.
Mayor, I'll vote no simple reason because a request by the golf clubs down the track to have their fourth quarter rates waived when they had them waived last year. It's still $1.4 million funding. Where does the request of the golf course end? This is, to me, not a fair and equitable distribution of money for the betterment of the community. The golf club has, in my view, been sitting on a gravy train, and it's time to stop. It's a waste of money.
Thank you. I have 2 speakers for and 2 against. I can put the motion, or anybody else want to speak for and against? If not, do you want to close the debate, Councillor Kidd?
I'd just like to congratulate staff for producing all the hours and all the hard work that they've put in, producing a very restrained, very thorough document that addresses most problems. There are root issues here with the way the councils are funded. We are early on that track. We are reviewing our finances. Things are changing. Because we haven't got any of the results of any of our financial reviews from Professor Drew back again and different things, I don't think we have any other option but to accept this as it stands. I think it's sensible, it's reasonable, and we're trying to look after our community, and we're also honouring the applications made to us during the strategic planning stage earlier this year. The community asked for certain things. The community also wanted things done a certain way, and I think we've done a pretty good job of getting a midpoint there. So I would recommend this to councillors, and I would recommend it to the community. I think this is a good document made under difficult circumstances.
Thank you, Councillor Kidd. I'll put the motion. Those in favour? Look, I must thank the council.
Can I just request that my vote against be recorded?
Sorry, I should ask the question. All right, good, thank you. I must thank my fellow councillors and the general public for the debate. It's been a very interesting debate. There's some passions in this, of course, but thank you very much, everybody. And we'll move on to the next one now. Next one. Oh, yeah. I will be. Gary, you can stay for the rest of the night, but we finished now.
Finished with
the item.
Oh, sorry, finish your item. You finished.
all right. Finished, yeah.
Thank you for coming back for all your hard work over the years and future years as well. Thank you.
Roddy. Oh, she's got the dog. Right. Thanks, Michelle.
All right. And we're going to move on to item 8.1.1, page 7.
I want to be walking you back.
On page 7.
I'll move that, Mr. Mayor. 7.
All right, let's just get there first.
Page 6.
Yeah. All right, it's-
Yeah, I was taking out this.
Right, yeah.
That was me.
Right. I've got a move and a second.
On page 7.
Second account there for the country mayor's meeting.
Mayor, I'd like to speak for the motion, please.
Yes, certainly.
I'd just like to congratulate the mayor on his with the Country Mayors Association. I'd also note that in the press, there was also mention of the motions put and discussion brought by the Leeton Shire Council Mayor and the GM, and I just think that you should be proud of how you're representing Leeton around the state.
Thank you very much for that, and gentlemen, thank you very much. Like I said before, going way back, we used to have 2 associations, at the Metropolitan and we had the country, and 2 different voices talking to the government, and then they were brought together to have one voice. But we sort of got drowned out a bit, you know, and the country mayors have started this association, which is gaining a lot of momentum, and we get to talk to people at the state parliament, which is really great, you know. And I thank you very much. So I've had a mover, a seconder, I had a comment. Anybody?
I would just make a short statement, Mr. Mayor. Just the effect, it's great to see regional health on the agenda, and the fact that we got a mention there. And you know, I think things are starting to change in the attitude. It's far less patronising now. The attitude from Department of Health to rural communities with regard to health services, and we're seeing some flexibility. And you know, I know a few of these fellas and ladies, and they're trying really hard to do a good job. And our collaborative, we are also one of 4 sites in the state that are doing the collaborative care model at the moment. It's progressing along. I won't say it's entirely smooth, but it is progressing along, and we are starting to get some results and a little bit of pressure in the right place. So that's good for everybody. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much. Councillor, it was okay? All right, good. I'll put the motion. All in favour? Those against? Good. Thank you very much. Moving on to now 8.1.2 on page 25. Just give me some time to get there. Huh?
They're all blessed.
8.1.2.
My thing there, yeah. I dare say. Thank you, Councillor. Are you trying to?
I'm sure how to do this procedurally because I've seen it. I know it can be done, but I'm not sure how to do it personally.
All right.
I'd like to move an amendment
to this recommendation. So the
Mr. Mayor, if I could just, if you're the first person speaking, move a motion.
Yeah.
It's only an amendment after a motion.
So I can move.
You can
to
a motion.
You can put a tile in your motion. Or
Can I move the motion that we adopt option 2 as third motion? So option 1. So option 2 only allows for the voting delegates to go.
Option 1, yeah.
And we can amend that to include their alternates if those vote.
Just a bit of clarification. So what are you saying? Point 2.
So no other councillors, just the mayor and deputy mayor.
Oh, right, yeah.
But to include that if the mayor or deputy mayor can't go, they can appoint alternates.
So you're actually, that's a motion in itself. That's a
Point of clarification,
Yeah.
the council is referring to part C options.
Yeah.
Under which option number 1 and option number 2 listed. It's just confusing because there are 3 recommendations above.
That's all right. The recommendation frame has not been moved at all.
I know, but I thought that the council was referring to those recommendations.
You're just doing number 2.
Yeah.
On its own.
Option 2.
Moving number 2, but you need a second.
I need a second.
I need a second.
Councillor Tyner. All right, we'll debate that. This is a new motion, so talk to the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I tried to get my Word document open that I had a prepared speech on, but I'm just going off the cuff now. I just don't see the need for other delegates to attend, especially in light of the financial state that we are in. I think it's more financially prudent that we only send the two that are required to go with that voting rights. Personally, I'm unsure why other attendees need to go to begin with. It's just I want to try and see the money that we spend is spent wisely and only for good purposes, really, or purposes they intended to be for. So thank you, Mr. Mayor.
All right, that was a speaker for your motion. The motion authorised other interested councillors to attend conference as non-voting. Can I just ask a clarification? Point 3, it talks about those people going to be actually paid for.
So, Mr. Mayor.
That sort of.
It's simply saying that, it's a similar motion, except no other councillors be allowed to attend, only the mayor and the deputy mayor.
Yeah.
Everything else remains the same.
Yeah, but at the moment, we just got point 2 sitting in front of us.
No, it's option 2, so it's just
Further down, further down, I think.
this option
Oh, right, yeah.
Right, we're seeking the.
2, yeah,
Option 2.
not just point.
My fellow councillors, do you understand what we're talking about? That's good. Option 2, where's option 2 then? Page what?
I'm going to do that again.
Further down.
2. Votes the mayor.
Yeah,
What are you going to vote on? We think we're voting.
yeah, that's it, yeah.
All right, so you've moved that motion. Anybody against that motion? Councillor Morris.
Mr. Mayor, and I appreciate why the councillor has put the amendment forward. A couple of things I'd just like to bring to attention, though, in the thought of this. I think, having been there myself, it is well worthwhile to understand and be a part of all the local governments, councils in New South Wales. You get a much broader picture, and you also get to understand how some of the problems, we all have similar problems, how they're actually tackling them, and you come home with a wealth of ideas. Apart from that, my other important segment I'd like to add to that was, just because you might have gone as a council representative, it doesn't mean we've all put our hand out to be reimbursed by council. I have been to functions like this where I've paid my own way quite happily. So I didn't dig into the council resources. And I would hate to limit that chance for others if they would choose to attend a function. And mind you, it's a conference that goes for 3 days, and they're big days, and a lot of motions are put forward. I think it's very worthwhile, and I think we need to sometimes move outside just our own local government area to understand the wider picture. But I would hate to limit a councillor wanting to go who was not willing to fund themselves also. And so I think that's just a vital part of it all. It doesn't, just because it's their written opportunity to be read, it doesn't mean a councillor does take that opportunity up. So they're my reasonings of perhaps not voting with this amendment.
All right, another speaker for the motion.
Yes, I agree with Councillor Morris. It is quite a valuable opportunity, and I was fortunate enough to go on the post of the Deputy Mayor, Mr. Kidd. Nonetheless, I don't think the council should be sending people away who have no voting power to make resolutions. It's a pointless activity. If they want to pay for themselves, that's all fine. It's just a way of being more financially prudent with our money.
Right, speaker for, against. I've had 1, 4. 1 against. I need a second one again.
I'm torn, Mr. Mayor. I entirely see the point that Councillor Edwards and Councillor Tynan are making. You do have to be prudent. And I can assure you this, we are. And I get the bit about having your vote, but sometimes things are a little bit more than the vote. And I would, very few councillors ever take up the option to go and fill that spot. It's particularly difficult for councillors that work to do those things or are less flexible at work. I managed it for a few years by taking holidays. It is a big drain on people to do that, and it doesn't happen often, but I'm not sure that we should. There's a lot to be learnt as well than just voting. There's a lot to be learnt, and I would hate to deny someone the opportunity if they were really keen to expand their knowledge and participate more in the space. Often also members of the boards of Local Government New South Wales and also ALGA are ordinary councillors. They're not mayors or deputy mayors. And again, you know, if you were to just light up and go down that pathway, that's only good for the Shire. So, yeah, I'd struggle to support it as it stands. I just think it's denying a potential path for people to advance themselves and advance our Shire.
I've had 2 for and 2 against. Is any, we can put the motion with 2 for and 2 against. Are you happy to move on to the motion to be voted upon? No more questions?
Mr. Mayor, do I get a right of reply?
Do you want to close the vote?
Mr. Mayor, my understanding of this type of policy and the point of having 2 voting delegates and the delegates going is that they come back and report to council about their learnings, their findings. And again, I still don't see any reason for having more councillors go when we're being told that we need to put trust in each fellow councillor as well. So, yeah. I hope that makes sense. I see Councillor Tynan nodding his head, so that.
All right, you close the debate. Everybody knows what we're going to vote on. Option 2. Those in favour? Those against? It's lost. Oh, what's that, haven't we? So
To move.
yeah, I need someone to move.
With the
Yes. Someone move.
I'd like to move the option number 1 on page 25, the recommended motion, Mr. Mayor.
Right. I think I moved it in councillor.
No.
No, we're not.
Did
Never got there.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that was different.
The move councillor Wright, second by
I was working on it.
councillor, I need a councillor to councillor Maiden. Thank you.
Thanks out on my left.
All right, so we're councillors, are you happy to debate this again, or do you feel that you had our debate? I think we have, haven't we?
Yeah.
Okay. Those in, we're all up.
Well, I should speak for my motion.
Sure. Yeah, you haven't spoken, yes.
I will say that, you know, it's a big world. We're a small town. I've been to conferences in many contexts. I've seen money wasted on extravagant dinners. It has scandalized me. I don't see this as something that has to be wasteful. I think my intention in putting my hand up to go to this is not to go every year to every possible conference. As Councillor Kidd pointed out in the last motion, we don't have the time.
Yeah.
But I would like to go to this at some point in my term. So I'm going to try and go now, and I think I might be able to schedule it in. And I think it would be worthwhile. I look forward to learning a whole new forum, a whole new place, a whole new group of people. I mean, it's fascinating to me. And I think that's part of our role, is to interact and network with people and learn and better ourselves. So yeah, I don't think this trimming the tiny little bits of money is going to save our budget. I think we're going to deal with that in the coming year. So I don't really put much credence into the arguments around budget, sensible budgets or anything like that. A conference is a lot more than just voting on things. It's you go to sessions, you learn. That's what it's mainly about.
All right.
May I ask a question, Mr. Mayor?
Yeah. Clarification.
If councillor is blatant intent to go to the or is application to go to the conference, Local Government New South Wales Conference in Penrith in November, we would need to add a budget note in there into the recommendation, would we not?
Through you, Mr Mayor, there's sufficient funding in the councillor training budget to cover the attendance. At the
Okay,
conference.
righto. We don't need to add a 0.4 or,
That was in the body of the report.
okay.
All right then, all in favour?
Am I allowed to speak against, Mr Mayor? Am I
Oh,
allowed to speak against?
Oh, right, yeah, I did ask, is everybody happy to move on? All right,
No, you went straight to.
all right.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I'm just using this opportunity to speak, rebuke councillor Wright's notions about obligations to benefiting yourself. I see that point. I understand the point. We all need to benefit ourselves, do our learning, but we also have an obligation to the ratepayers to ensure that we're spending prudently. And you're talking about minuscule amounts of money. Well, those minuscule amounts of money also add up over the long term. We're spending, increasing little bits of money here and little bits of money there. That actually adds up to increased spending. So I make no apology for trying to stand up for the ratepayers and saying that we need to be more prudent in our financial spending. So that's why I'm voting against this motion. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
All right, because it was moved by councillor Wright and you spoke for the motion and you spoke against it, I'm looking for someone to speak for the motion again. Now, this is a different motion altogether, so you are allowed to speak. Someone in favour of the motion. Yeah.
You can speak, right?
You like to speak?
Yeah.
Sure.
Look, I agree with councillor Wright's views on this. I do think it's a small amount. There's 9 of us. It's very unlikely that all 9 of us will attend the conference. I think it's more about the opportunity being there. If we were able to, I think, we've mentioned before, we're all working. It's highly unlikely that we're all going to be able to take annual leave or those types of things, but to take the option off the table, I think, I don't think that's the right thing to do. I think it's a learning opportunity. It's not all about the voting, and it might be that we go once in our term. As the general manager has stated, that there is money in the training budget for councillors, it's not like we're drawing upon that amount from somewhere else. So that's why I speak for the motion.
Right, one more against the motion.
It's more of a question. I don't know. Shut up. That's fine.
Okay.
Isn't it possible to negotiate between the mayor and the deputy mayor a swapper in this? So instead of being a compulsory rule for the mayor and the deputy mayor to go, and we only have 2 votes, that isn't it possible that the mayor takes precedence and that another attendee could swap out with the deputy mayor?
I think that's not policy at the moment. That's not policy, I think.
Put the cost down to 2 people.
Look, I'm not supposed to speak on this, am I?
No, you can speak
Can
as
I?
the mayor. Of course you can.
Look, every time I go, I say to myself, wish the other councillors were here to see this, Councillor Tyler, I think I had a good time in Tamworth. We had bacon egg rolls in the morning. We didn't use that much money at all, but it's such a learning curve that you see the bigger picture. You're sort of working away in your own little trench. But when you go to this, you see a wider picture and you network and you get ideas. And I think it's, on the whole, very good.
Once you've seen one movie, you've seen them all. So it's the idea of just swapping out the deputy mayor.
This motion here, it particularly talks about Penrith. This one's,
In terms of conferences.
yeah, this is, no, I'd like to go. I'd like to keep going. So I would like to go, and I'd like to keep going as well. And this motion is only particular to Penrith. Next year, there'll be another debate. Councillor Hardy.
Thank you. I still think that at no point in time it's not stopping anybody else from going, Mr Mayor. Like Councillor Morris did state, a third can go if they completely want to pay for it themselves. So it's not going to put any restraints on training budgets or money at any point in time. And
Yeah. Good. I'm going to put, we've had 2 against, the 2 for, so I'm going to put the motion. Okay. I'll put the motion. All in favour? Those against? Would you like your names recorded?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. You foreshadowed me there.
Good. Thank you. All right. Particularly pleased, I'd like to see somebody come along and be very great. Be beautiful.
Yeah, to page 300 and so.
Right, now we're on to corporate matters.
That's right.
We're going to start 8.2.1. The making of rates and charges for financial year page 325. Let's put 325 in here.
My memory's working.
Mayor, what page?
325, I've got.
Heavens.
That-
I was thinking I was getting demented.
Money there.
Yeah.
Have you all got 8.2.1? Right, there is a recommendation there from staff. Does anybody want to move that recommendation, or have you got your own motion? Moved by Councillor Kidd, seconded by Councillor Tyne. Good. The recommendation is in front of you there. Councillor Kidd, you moved the motion. Do you want to speak to it?
Only in, Mr. Mayor, again, congratulate the staff on all the work in there. We have done plenty of tweaking. Unfortunately, at 1 midnight, I think it would be a bad idea to start tweaking again. So I recommend it to council.
Okay, want to speak motion?
Pardon me, Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
What page are we on?
325, close enough to one way.
25.
One up. Would depend what you got in front. Yeah, 325. I'm happy to wait.
Oh, yeah, I want to say.
60 minutes to midnight, actually.
It's a couple of pages of recommendation, actually. It's one big.
Oh, it's
In 200.
and mine will probably anyway. When you make it on the
Yeah, you might have seen this in the workshop.
page.
It's being a bit flippant saying 1 minute to midnight.
So, Councillor Maiden, we okay?
Yes, I'm fine, thank you.
All right. We had a move in a second there. It was moved by Councillor Kidd, wasn't it?
Yes.
Second by Councillor Tyne. Councillor Kidd opened the debate and he spoke to it. Does anybody want to speak against this motion? Councillor Tyne, and you second the motion. Was anything?
This is, I agree with Councillor Kidd on this.
That's beautiful. Councillor Kidd, do you want to close the debate? We're happy to move on to the motion.
No, I've got nothing to add, Mr. Mayor.
Those in favour? Those against? Thank you. Moving on to page now.
331.
331, not too far from 325.
Thank you, Mr.
Get there. It's 8.2.2 investment report, May 2025 on page 331. There is a recommendation there in front of us, given by the staff. Someone want to move that?
Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Kidd, seconded by Councillor Morris. Councillor Kidd, do you want to say any words to it?
Only that we've been very fortunate to exceed our predicted interest earned for this year against what was predicted in the budget, sorry. That's important because what it does is that it shows that we're making conservative judgments and we're not being out there with our calculations. So once again, congratulations to the staff on that and for picking a pretty conservative road, and makes life a lot easier for us as councillors. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone want to speak against this motion? No? Councillor Morris, you second the motion. Do you want to say anything?
Oh, look, it's always good to be tracking ahead of schedule. That's all I can say for interest, but also we've had a pick up this year, in our temporary water sales. So, which is a bonus. So, something we just need to keep our eye on, because it is something that we, as we know, it's a changing market every year. It's not the call, but it's just something that, we're able to take the opportunity of, and we have. So well done. Thank you.
Councillor Kidd, you happy to put the motion there?
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
I'll put the motion. Is it all in favour? Those against? Carried. Thank you. Moving on to page
343.
343. 8.2.3 Audit Risk and Committee. There's a recommendation put before us.
And again, I'll support that, Mr. Mayor.
Kidd, second by councillor Tynan. Councillor Kidd, you want to speak to it?
Just very briefly, Mr. Mayor, the Audit Risk and Improvement Committee is certainly covering a lot of ground. And generally, very supportive of what the staff have been doing, and I congratulate again the staff on cooperating with these independent auditors on this, and it's good to see that we seem to be doing most things fairly well, and it's also good to see that we're getting some input back from ARIC with suggested software and different approaches to how we do our work. So I think I know it's an expensive process that's been foisted on us, but it does seem to be very thorough and covering a lot of issues. So yeah, I would recommend it.
I'll just make a comment. I sat in on it, and we've got a great many ticks as well. We're doing a lot of good work. And I must thank the staff for the work you do. A couple of things we've got to do as well, I know, but on the whole, great job done. Now, we had a mover and a second. The second was Councillor Tynan, wasn't it?
Yes.
Do you want to say anything, Councillor Tynan?
I was just going to echo some of the efforts that the council make with respect to what the auditors see.
All right, then I'll put the motion. All in favour? Aye. Those against? Right, now, the next bit, I just got to read a few things out. The next one. Thank you, Councillor. Moving on to point 2, Leeton request waiver deferred fourth rate instalment. There's attachments to confidential. I've just got to read this out to you. Now, moving on to item 8.2.4 on page 359 of the agenda, where the Leeton Golf Club has requested for the fourth rate instalment to be waived or deferred. Please note that while the report is public, there is one attachment that has been blanked out, which is not, which is in your confidential part of it. Now, I think there is a motion, a recommendation put forward by the staff. Would someone like to move that, or have you got one of your own?
I'll move that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Motion, seconded by
I'll move it with a question.
Councillor Mara. A question first?
Yes, certainly. And I'm not sure if, Mr. Mayor, you might need to direct me through to the Director of Corporate. I would just like to clarify then this. So this is the fourth instalment that's occurring now. So when we go into our new financial year and we've got two instalments that will be coming up in this time period, we are expecting those to be paid on time. It's just this one isolated payment that this matter refers to. Okay.
That's fine. Yep.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Right, okay, Councillor Tynan.
I'd like to say a few things about this on the negative. Should I make an?
Maybe you can speak against the motion. So we had a mover and have a second, add a seconder. So I need someone to speak against the motion. Councillor Tynan.
I'd like to speak against this motion. First of all, in the document, it's noted that I won't refer to the numbers here. I think I can. Yeah, balance of approximately $260,000. Now, that $260,000 is going to be dedicated to prize money, general expenses, and clubhouse construction. They want to waive fees for a period of time, a delay or whatever, fees. Now, those fees are quite a small fraction of their cash at hand. Prize money. I think the community can expect the golf club to shave off a little bit of the prize money just to pay their own rates. I'd love to be able to ask for waivers on my rates for periods of time. I actually think this is an outrageous request, absolutely outrageous, given that everyone else has to pay their rates. I see no reason why the golf club should have a special thing extended to them. And I also note that if I'm correct in my memory, through the Mayor to the GM that the rates were waived last year, in the last term.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Yes, that's correct. The rates for 23-24 were waived entirely. That's correct.
They also got a $2,000 grant for the purchase of a computer. There is nothing redeeming about this request. It is absolutely scandalous and outrageous.
Councillor Tynan, it's someone to vote.
Can I ask a question for clarification?
Yeah.
On the surface, what councillor Tynan says is correct. However, I noticed that these funds were donated by the Golf Club Benevolent Trust. And do we know if the conditions of that trust is that those funds are tied?
Through you, Mr Mayor, we did ask the golf club to give us detailed information about how all of that money was either tied specifically to anything, but the email trail that you see at the back is the full extent of the feedback that Sarah got from the golf club.
Okay, so I didn't see anything in there that was, about how those grants function.
Yes, we had anticipated
Specific to this.
considering this under the hardship policy, but because we didn't get the information that we asked for, we weren't able to consider it under hardship, which all we can do is take in good faith that the club has said that those funds are committed, and hence the staff recommendation that it be deferred, not waived altogether.
Can I ask another question? So is that a matter of us just seeking that information from a golf club? Did we specifically ask for the details of how that money was donated to the trust and what under what conditions, or are we limited by what we've got? And do we need to ask more questions of the golf club? I suppose that's where I'm.
Invited on several opportunities to have the detail of how $260,000 was restricted so that it wasn't able to be spent. So we would have done that 3 times, I think. So so they were opportunity to let us know, because we were busy looking at does it warrant a waiver? So the thinking around the waiver and the hardship, on the basis that the hardship couldn't be supported, that's why the next option was, well, you have to pay it, but they're saying to us they don't have enough sufficient funds now because the money that they've got is committed. So I suppose the way the staff were considering it was on the basis of, well, over 6 months you should be able to raise that money to pay for it.
Yeah, see, I would thought this comes under, a lot of people, a lot of ratepayers are asset rich and cash poor.
Can I ask a question? Yeah. I just ask a quick question. So it's $1,048.
Correct.
Yeah. And for 6 months, but if they don't pay within 6 months, they pay 10%. So what's 10%? That's $100, isn't it? Roughly.
It accrues on a daily basis, depending on how long it takes for it to be. So all ratepayers are exposed to that. If they don't pay on time, then an interest rate, daily interest rate.
I think we had, where we're up to, we had someone speak for it. Someone for it now. Councillor Morris, I think you seconded it.
To ask a question through the director. Look, I mean, this confronts other, obviously, ratepayers at times, and I can't think what our policy is at the moment, but I think in good faith, if someone came and asked that they could pay it off, and I don't know, it's due today, but we paid $100 a week for the next 10 weeks. we see it as a payment arrangement. There's opportunities for those, isn't there? Yep. Rather than just waiving it for a set period of time.
Councillor, you got a question?
I'd like to speak for the motion.
Right, yeah, I've had an opener, one against, I go have. No, second one again.
I'm gonna ask some questions around.
You have a question? Have a question?
It's up to the 4 though. If we had against, now it's 4. Or are you asking?
No, Councillor Kidd opened it, he for it. Councillor Tyner was against it. Councillor Morris was for it. So I'm looking for someone against it.
Asking a question just to clarify the situation.
Oh, right, was it?
Sorry.
All right, sorry, Councillor Wright.
Question then.
I'm happy for Councillor Edwards.
I'm happy for
to
Councillor.
answer before I speak.
I'm happy for Councillor Wright to say his piece first.
Okay, I am going to vote for this motion because I previously misunderstood it to be a waiver. I now realise it is a deferment. It does appear on the face of it to be, you know, a bit rich, but having spoken to the people, the very dedicated people who've been pushing to rehabilitate the golf club as a business and who've worked very hard to get grants and put a lot of their own money into, large sums of their own money into the building of the new clubhouse. With no pecuniary benefit on their part, it remains a not-for-profit club and they won't get any profit back from that. They're not loans, they are gifts. I think that what Councillor Morris outlined in question to you was was correct in that in good faith we should accept what they say. I would hope that in future, when asked for more information, a club or any entity asking for a favour from the council and the ratepayer would provide that. But many of us are on committees. We don't always get to our emails. It's not necessarily doesn't necessarily represent a bad intention or that anything they said verbally wasn't true. And this is not a pattern of behaviour either. This is just a one-off. I see that the trend is improving markedly. If they had their fees waived last year, and this time they're going to pay all of them, their rates. We waived all their rates last year, and then this year they're only asking for a deferment on one payment, and they're still going to pay it. I mean, I don't think we should treat them any different to any other ratepayer who's asked to pay it off in instalments or whatever they end up doing. I will note that we've been very kind and encouraging to the golf club because I think many of us believe in its mission and its value to the community. We have frozen the grounds fees for the coming year, and I hope that the golf club appreciates everything this council is doing for it and fulfills its promise to the community.
Thank you. That was the speaker for the motion. Anybody speak against the motion? Second person.
Mr. Mayor, I feel like my question might, depending on the answer,
all right,
be speaking against the motion. So I might ask the question first, Mr. Mayor, if you so please. I just want to get an understanding around whether other organisations or businesses have requested a waiver or deferment of their rates in general, or if this is
for general manager or for
occurrence.
So, Mr. Mayor, doesn't an off, but do have requests from time to time? It's be related to hardship.
To hardship. I think I'm unsatisfied as a councillor to see where this financial hardship claim is coming from. We have, as Councillor Tynan has pointed out, we have given the golf course and the golf club money as of about $1.4 million past few years. I don't see how there could be no request to defer a $1,000 rate payment.
Thank you, Councillor Edwards. All right, vote 2 for, 2 against. You can close the debate, Councillor Kidd. I can put the motion.
I'd just to say, I think that I still support the motion. I'm disappointed that we're granting an extension. And I'm disappointed that perhaps the golf club probably could have handled this better. But as Councillor Wright said, it is a committee, and everyone knows that a camel's a horse designed by a committee. So things do go funny. With regard to councillor contributions, just as a background, and I'll digress slightly, if we start looking back at 2013, 14, 14, 15, things like that, there were an awful lot of things we had to address down there. We had aged machinery, we had significant occupational health and safety issues. And if we take out a year like that, if we take out that COVID year of 2021.
It's relevant to the point at hand.
It is, because the visitors are slightly different. What I would should not be looked at purely on face value, because there isn't an answer for some of those. Now, we're looking at, I'd really like to, I'm happy to still support the motion as it stands, but I would really like to pursue the conditions of donations with regard to the Leeton Golf Benevolent Trust. And I think council does need to chase that information up. And that's all, Mr. Mayor.
It's a comment.
It's a
comment, I think. It doesn't affect this particular motion.
Okay, right.
Right. All right, I'll put the motion. All in favour? Those against? You'd like to get recorded?
Yes, it is, Mayor.
That's okay.
Mr. Mayor, just clarifying, it's the recommended option number 2.
Recommendation was
The one,
1,048, and if you don't pay in 6 months, you pay 10%.
Yes.
We're going to move on to page 369 in regard to council representation. There is a recommendation there by staff. Is anybody happy to move that recommendation or one of their own? The recommendation? Councillor Nation, seconder. Councillor Nardi, seconder. Any debate?
I'll make put an amendment, Mr. Mayor.
Amendment. What is your amendment?
I would like to move that the motion as recommended, but with a second point that signals the need for a Leeton Sporting Precinct Committee to help guide the sport precinct master plan process, with membership to be determined once a term of reference has been drafted and presented to council for consideration. If possible, I ask that these terms of reference come back to council for consideration at the July ordinary council meeting.
I need a seconder for that direction. Second by Councillor Nardi. Asked who for the motion was Councillor Woods. Did I second?
Edwards was a mover, Councillor Nardi was the seconder.
That's right. Councillor Edward and Councillor, are you happy to accept that amendment? Do you want to?
I agree with it in principle, but I'm unsure how that changes things for now, if we're just going down the track. And have this, but just, if I could just very explain, if by adding this now into the list, but we're not even adopting his representing on it yet.
You want a clarification of it, did you?
Yeah, just a clarification around it, I agree that in principle, I have no, literally have no qualms about it, but just.
All right, so you agree in principle?
I do agree in principle, basically.
All right, Councillor Nardi, you agree in principle? Right, the motion has an amendment, the amendment comes to motion, the motion is point. It's a recommendation, that's point 1. Staff, point 2 is the one that Councillor Key has added to it. Can that be typed up somewhere?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, the way I'm effectively understanding it is that the second point is flagging that there needs to be a new committee established. and the council is asking for staff to bring back a terms of reference to the July council meetings.
Correct.
About the purpose of that committee and the membership of that committee.
That's correct, General Manager.
The clarification, Councillor Edwards, okay? Councillor Edwards?
So,
Yeah?
a subsequent question, Mr Mayor. So would we term it as an action committee? Is that the segment it would fall in? Excuse me.
So through me something similar to the Chomsky in
You did. Advisory, only as advisory.
yeah.
So I'll revisit my questioning. It's just around the purpose of the motion is to basically nominate and endorse councillors representing council on these committees. Is this in, because I know that some in motions you can't bring up a thing that directly or
Could you
goes away from
could you
the.
speak louder, please? Councillor Edwards?
Sorry, Councillor Wright. I'm just saying that I note that in the code of meeting practice that motions need to be directly a part of like addressing what it is. So in this motion, we're nominating and endorsing individual councillors to represent the council on these committees. I'm just unsure procedurally how this.
I think Councillor Kidd is adding another committee to this list of committees.
That's basically it, yes.
I'm probably just confusing myself.
Is that okay?
In a nutshell.
I also have a question through you to the General Manager of the Manager of Governance. How are 355 committees usually established? Is this a normal way for them to be established?
Just not 355.
Through Mr Mayor, all of council's committees come through a process where council endorses them. There's no agreement tonight that what this committee looks like yet. The council is saying we need a committee and we'd like you to bring back a terms of reference for us to consider at the next council meeting. And yes, this is the normal process. So when we did a CBD enhancement committee, we brought it forward with potential names or suggested calling for expressions of interest. So each one has a bit of a unique process to it, but this wouldn't be a 355. It wouldn't have delegated authority. This would be an advisory committee advising council.
Another clarification of procedure. Councillor Kidd put this motion forward as a whole, or is this an amendment to the motion?
No, I believe point one is as it stands in front of you, all those committees and all those people on the committees. And point two, I believe, is Councillor Kidd is adding a new committee to be determined the makeup of.
Part two is the amendment.
The question?
Yes, I do. And when Councillor Kidd mooted that, Councillor Edwards accepted it and Councillor Nardi, who was the seconder, accepted it. So it's now part of the motion.
Oh, okay. It was without a vote. Okay.
Yep. So it didn't need to go through an amendment process.
I wasn't sure where we were up to on the procedure.
Yep.
Thank you very much, Mr Mayor.
Councillor Edwards, are you happy with?
Yeah, I think my question was partly.
Right, to clarify, so what we're going to do now, make sure, point one, I'm saying point one, there's nothing on here. Point one is as those committees in front of you and each of those councillors on each of those committees. That's what we're going to endorse, hopefully. And point two was another committee to be added as an advisory committee with a makeup to be determined later. Are you all happy with that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Any more debate? No. All in favour? Those against? Thank you. Great. Very good to have our important is an area that we meet people in the street and we meet other communities, and this is where we get our feedback and a feel for what the community wants. And they also feel, having councillors on those committees, that they are being listened to and partake. All right, we're going to move on to pages. What page is it? page 383. And it's in regard to the YANCO site. I'll just read it to you. Thank you, councillors. That concluding the corporate matters for the evening. Moving on to operation matters, starting with item 8.3.1, YANCO landfill remediation and capping project details and acceptance of the EPA grant funding on page 383 of the agenda. There's an attachment, which is confidential. I'll read out that part of it to you. Not right? Not right. I don't need to.
What a long-winded.
I know. Can I call for a move and a seconder, please? Moved by councillor Tynan, second by councillor Mason. Good. All right. Any debate? No debate? Self-explanatory. Anybody for and against that? I put the motion. All in favour? All right, good, thank you. Thank you, council. Moving on to page 383 of the agenda. Operation matters.
Oh, we just did that one, Mayor.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, no.
It's the legal advisory committee now.
Yeah.
So you might have been.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. The Yank. Double up. 8.3.2 Leeton Shire Advisory Committee meeting 29th of May 2025, meeting from page 389. These are recommendations there by staff. Does anybody want to move that?
Information, the recommendations to me.
Councillor Kidd, Councillor Nardi. Your debate?
Can I just make a clarification? The minutes within the item are incorrect. I was in attendance as I am also a member of the Tree Advisory Committee, and I was in attendance on the day. So I'm unsure if we can change that now.
You do.
Like at least noted. Yeah. I also attended.
I can assure you I wasn't there. Did miss that.
I'll ask the Director of Ops to follow that through, please.
General Manager, just to straighten me out a bit. I think all the council got a letter in regard to planting trees for Woollyburn and Griffith.
Yes, that's.
You all got
I
that?
think that was included in this one.
Can we push that? Can we give it? Not push. Can we give that to the Tree Advisory Committee to look at?
Yes.
Certainly.
Do that.
Question.
The question in relation, just through you, Mr. Mayor, to the Director of Operations, just with the tree removals that are scheduled, I noticed there was a request to remove a heavily pruned oak growing under the power lines in Sally Street Grove. Is there a policy is the policy remove one, replace with two? Is that still the?
Certainly what we've been doing,
Yep.
through the team,
So with the removal of that tree scheduled, then there would be two.
to replace.
Yep. Thank you.
Through the chair, we can't put them in the same position, and generally speaking, we can't.
Can I move the second one?
We'll put the other somewhere else.
Thank you.
Councillor Nardi, question.
So just a question through Mr. Mayor. If it could be answered, just on that point, above the English oak tree that was from Mountford Park, was that the one that had fallen down that was made a complaint about?
The chair, yes, it was the one next to the park.
Yes, yep, that was one that I did. And also just a typo that it's not ockers, it's oaks.
A new species.
Yeah, it must be.
We had a move in a second of recommendation. If not my more debate, I might put the motion. Put the motion?
Sorry.
Right, thank you. Next item is 8.3.3. Local Emergency Management Committee, Bridget, on page 394 of your.
Support that, Mr. Mayor.
Moved by Councillor Nines, Councillor Kidd. Was there a seconder? Councillor Maiden? Good, all right. The recommendation is there in front of you. Are you happy to move? Oh, you have, sorry, sorry.
Okay.
Any debates?
Mayor, sorry, I just have a question on this one too. I note that at the last meeting. I know this is a trial of how this current committee is. And we're being asked to endorse this type of committee, which I have no qualms about. I'm just wondering, do councillors attend this committee as well? Is it just because I noted that the mayor of Narrandera is normally in attendance. I'm just curious if private councillors.
Who's on that committee?
Councillors, not
I've
councillors.
never been to one. I suspect councillor Smith may have been on that in the previous.
Yeah.
He went in his VRA capacity.
Yeah.
It's just wanted.
See,
Yeah.
but I'll double check that. But
I just want to make
yes,
sure that we're not.
it's normally, it's all the Leacon and the our own person that manages emergencies here. But I will double check because that is interesting if the mayor was there.
It was an apology, but I noted that he wasn't.
Yes.
If I may, through the chair, I think somebody did accompany to one of those meetings, not you, Deputy Mayor?
No, I haven't been to a LEMO. I'm sorry.
First or the first joint meeting.
Mm.
I think it might have been our previous mayor.
Why?
I think our previous.
Renica?
Only really.
Yep.
Bit short on me.
That's a.
He had an interest obviously in the.
Yeah.
Wait,
I guess I just want to make sure that we're not.
Yeah, I'll inquire about that.
Is all councillors welcome? I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
It's not the question.
That was just.
If the mayor Neville Kashenka attends, should our mayor or representative of the mayor be attending for Leeton? So we'll inquire about that.
As he was there in another comment.
Yeah.
That's
Right, we had a move in a second, didn't we? Any debate?
Name at all.
With no debate, put the motion, in favour? All right, thank you.
You're reading too late.
That concludes the operation matters for the evening. Now moving on to economic and community development matters, starting with item 8.4.1, the post-event report for Australia Day event on page 401 of the agenda. Also, Nadi.
No, the old girl. Taking that Mrs. Kid.
Any discussion? A comment?
I guess mine is part comment, part question. I did attend the official ceremonies on the day, and I would like to congratulate all the recipients of the awards. I just question around the profit loss in the report itself. I know that there was a profit of $2,700 and that we received a grant for about 15,000. I was looking at those two numbers, why am I struggling just to get that basic numbers? What happened to that profit and loss, noting that we did receive a grant as well? Does that money get lost if it's from grant money, or I just want to see clarification around where that money.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, can we ask the Director of the Economic Development?
I'll probably have a very simple answer and I'm probably reading it.
Yeah.
For you, Mr. Mayor, so as part of the grant funding, we have to spend our own money first.
Okay, yeah.
So we have a dedicated budget set aside for that. So then we are allowed to spend the grant funding, and whatever we don't spend gets put back, given back to the grant funder.
And through you, Mr. Mayor, and through to the councillors, there's a recommendation in the report that we never do that again, and that we make sure we spend every cent of the grant money and don't give any back.
I think that was just
next year. Councillor No. Some small part.
All right, we've had a move and a second for that. Any debate? I'll put the motion. All in favour? All right, good. Yes, Australia Day is a very good time for everybody. Very good.
Right.
And thank you, Councillor Nardi and Councillor Kidd for that hard work on the day, and the staff as well. Staff was great.
Yeah.
Thank you for everybody.
290.
And moving on to La Fiesta or Fiesta La.
Fiesta.
Fiesta.
What 4.9? There is a recommendation put forward by staff Anybody would like to move that? Councillor,
Need to find
second by Councillor Nardi. Any debate? Councillor,
Not debate, just a comment, Mr.
Sorry.
Mayor, just congratulating the wonderful event. Kind to everyone on the day and the movement up to Chelmsford Place. I think really added a dimension to it all, giving everyone space and you know, the attendance is growing. So congratulations again to staff, everyone, and you know, our performers on the evening and all the street stall, the food stalls. Fantastic. So, yeah, wonderful event. Well done.
yes, very much so. Councillor Kidd.
I'd just echo what Councillor Morris has said. The numbers massive increase. Maybe it's because it's more open space. It didn't seem quite as so much bigger, but it was absolutely massive. Look, there's a little bit of tweaking to do, but what we'd planned to do with Chelmsford Place, this is a perfect example of that. It suits this sort of event to a T, and I've only heard very, very positive things from the community. So once again, congratulations to our events people and also all the people in the multicultural committee that have in the community that have put so much work into making a real signature event. I can only imagine it growing personally. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much. I must concur, it's a great day from people of all different nationalities, and the food, the food's fantastic.
Oh, die for.
And the dance and music. All right, so is any debate on that? No? I'll put the motion. All in favour? Aye. Thank you very much. As there's no notice of motion this evening, I'm being mindful of the time. We're now move around the table to give each councillor a brief rundown of what they've done. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Another busy month. Just everyone up to speed. Our new caretakers at Kajildri Weir should start tomorrow, so that's really great. I think that'll be an exciting era coming forward. And again, once again, thank you so much to Roy and Diane Trott, who really turned the place around and got the ship nice and steady. We've also, the Mayor and the General Manager and I were privileged to attend an innovations exchange in Sydney. And whilst I'm not a tech person, there's a lot of very exciting and slightly frightening things on the horizon for local government. There. Also, from me personally, I'm sure the Mayor would want to add to this. We also went to the Local Government Professionals Excellence Awards dinner. We had 4 nominations. Unfortunately, the judges must have been one-eyed deaf and dumb people because they didn't choose our 4 brilliant staff entries. But anyway, congratulations to our staff who are very innovative and right up there. We've also, I mentioned collaborative care earlier on. We've also toured the Roxy with Mr. the Honourable Don Harwin, who was the former Minister for Arts in the Berejiklian government. And Don was responsible, he signed off on the original grant to the Roxy that we got from Create New South Wales, and he was most excited to look at what we've managed to achieve. Was very impressed with the facilities, very impressed with the budget and everything else that we managed to work with, and that was great. I also, the following day, did a tour with Commonwealth Bank managers as well, loans managers, with the general manager, and they're also very impressed with that. We've also been pushing the Roxy a little bit on ABC Riverina, so expect to see that come up again and again, hopefully not with my dulcet tones on the radio. Maybe somebody's got more of a radio voice than I. And of course, we've been to ALGA in Canberra, to both the regional forum and the National General Assembly. Very, very interesting, particularly the issues discussed in the regional forum. And believe me, if you think we've got trouble attracting doctors and health workers and mental health assets to this town, we're only part of it. Even banks, you know, we're talking about people driving 8 hours round trip to bank from large towns that are on the tourist map. It's unbelievable. Anyway, thank you for the indulgence, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much. Councillor Edwards.
Oh, sorry, I was just going through my notes. I was like, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, I can confirm on the 29th of May that I did attend the Tree Advisory Committee meeting. On the 2nd of June, I attended the YANCO Town Improvement Committee. Yet again, I'm so impressed by the individual members on that committee and their dedication and passion for YANCO. And I would like to confirm, I think they've already announced it on their Facebook, that on the 9th of August, there is a free movie night down at the YANCO Sports Ground, and they are playing one of my favourite movies, Cool Runnings. So I hope everyone will go and be attending and calling our local clubs and everything. And I note that Councillor Wright has this in here, so I will note this too, that on the 13th of June, I also attended the Leeton Pride Festival Welcome Party. It was good to see that so many people were out and about in support of our LGBT, I'm probably getting the acronym incorrect here, community. So yeah, it was great to see that there's so much support in this town for such diverse communities. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much, Councillor Morris.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. Look, I'm only going to touch on probably 2 things and just probably advance notice of the Murray-Darling Association. Griffith are hosting the annual conference, which will start the last week of Monday, 29th of September, which is open to all councillors and the public in general, and the agenda is still getting finalised, which I will ask to be pushed out to all the councillors. Obviously, it's something dear to our heart, and it's going to have, if we can make any impact on the effects while and the advocacy work being done, we certainly need to, because it affects every person in our basin. The second one I'll just touch on and was the Rotary changeover dinner last Thursday. So thank you, Mr. Mayor, for had the privilege of representing yourself.
Thank you for
you were sorely missed, being a very dedicated and loyal Rotarian, but it was a wonderful night with Councillor Wright also there in attendance as a Rotarian. One of the things I did on your behalf was thank Rotary for the work they do in our community, and certainly one of those successful voluntary community groups that are at, as many community events as they can, supporting in whatever capacity, and that they are very vital to us, and we appreciate the work they do in our town. Just welcome to the new incoming president, Jennifer Newton. And I was very impressed with Rotary's theme for the upcoming year, which they have every year, and it's Unite for Good. So I think that to me summarise what Rotary is, but probably what we all as committees and passionate trying to strive for is to do the best work that we can in whatever capacity in our organisation. So it was a lovely night. So thank you, Mr. Mayor, for
thank you
for that honour.
Councillor Wright.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, yes, I was very happy to attend the Roxy Redevelopment Committee extraordinary meeting on the 9th of this extraordinary meeting. It was very enlightening, and we had guest speakers from many different Australia who all work and have worked for many decades in many cases in the arts sector. And it was really good to see so many new ideas and options, I guess, for the operations of the Roxy in the future being put forward, and forming those connections with people who are so generous with their time. Very happy to advise us in our little town about how we can leverage those connections and how we can explore innovative ways of doing things. So it really gave me a lot more optimism about the future of the Roxy over the next few years. I would encourage councillors. I'm not a member of the Roxy Redevelopment Committee, but as councillors, we're all entitled to attend as observers. And if you can make it, I really would encourage you to attend some of them. The Leeton Pride Festival was a successful event, and I was able to attend the welcome party. What can I say? Great vibes. Great to see it succeed a second time, because sometimes, I mean, I was a part of the first one, and when you put them on, you don't know if it's just going to be the first time great for the novelty, or if it's going to be something that's consistent. So I think that the plan of having it every 2 years is a good way of doing it. And we had more out of towners this time than we did last time. So I think it's really proving itself. I attended the Whitton Town Improvement Committee, where we heard about the concerns of the Whitton community, especially around the pool, and discussed various matters, that many of which are being addressed in the current budget, which I'm happy about. But there's a lot more work to do in the future, and I think there's a lot more opportunity to improve the Whitton town's streetscape. I attended the Sunrise Festival Committee meeting on behalf of Councillor Tiffin, and I was very, very impressed with the level of organisation of that committee. They clearly have been doing this for a long time. I mean, they have every single item down pat. It is like a Nike factory in Vietnam or something. Every operation, it's almost down to the second, and they don't mess around. So just drawing attention to anyone here or in the town who doesn't realise that is a lot of work, and it is not something where people can just not turn up. I mean, it is like more than 10 people doing a lot of work, every single one.
Most of them are young mothers.
It is interesting how many women there are in the group. One member did encourage us all as well to, if we can, attend the 90s the pop musical at the Leeton High School, which is coming up. So it does cool. Yeah, of people who are going. I'm going to try and go, but it just depends. The youth council meeting was interesting to sit in on. We have a small group of very dedicated young people who have some ideas about how they'd like to host events and hopefully create fundraise through those events to create a float of money, I guess, to fund their following year's events and sort of support their activities in a kind of break-even way at this point. So great to see the staff engaging with our young people. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor. The mate.
On the 2nd of June, I attended the Leeton Youth Committee meeting. I was unable to get to the follow-up meeting, which was to really break down where we were up to with the movies and that type of thing. On the 14th of June, I attended the Leeton Pride Festival parade and celebrations in Mountford Park. It was great to see so many people in attendance. There was some really interesting acts in terms of aerial performances, stuff on the stage, food stalls, that type of thing. So it was a really good afternoon. I kind of left at about 5 or 6, but I drove past maybe at about 7 or 8 and it was still going. So it was good to, see people out supporting the event, and good to note that we were getting some increased visitation from out of towners as well.
Right, good. Councillor Tynan.
I did one thing. I attended the Roxy music thing on Saturday night, and I claimed it as an activity because I went there to see how it works. not to dance. If you'd seen me dance, you'd understand why I claim. I would like to make one observation that maybe someone can into this or whatever. As I was trying to go out at one point, I'm standing here pushing the doors. Thinking, what the hell's going on here? And it seemed to me that maybe if there was a little bit at the beginning of an emergency or something, and you didn't know you had to walk back here and press the button on to get out the glass, there was a foyer, you might be in a little bit of trouble. So I'm wondering if that observation can be explored, because it wasn't just me. I was out there getting another glass of wine, and then another guy had the same problem.
Okay.
I wasn't drunk.
Which doors?
No, it's a try. No, I wasn't.
I asked which doors.
Wasn't the wine, was it?
Council?
It wasn't the wine, was it? No.
Wasn't the way. So
Getting away from the bar.
So you come out, if you come out, you come straight out to that side of the cash register side where they serve the wine drinks, the wines, that door that goes straight down there. I did it and I just stood there. I was
The single door on the top side of the.
the bottom and on the thing.
I refer that to.
So I went out there, I had that problem, and another guy came in after me. He had the same problem. He was just standing there going, how the hell do you get out of here? And it just seemed maybe something.
To look at.
Definitely look into it.
Yeah,
Thank
good,
you.
good. That's Lottie.
You had to do a swipe of credit.
Oh, can I correct something? The other reason I went is because I was curious about numbers, and I think there are about 35 tickets, and I'm just wondering, marketing is going to have to establish a reputation, and I think there needs to be a good focus on more marketing and things, because I only found out about this as a friend is in the band. So I think marketing really needs.
Let's get to a workshop one
I
day.
believe there was 50 in attendance, council.
Yeah, there were.
I heard, yeah.
But the rest of those were people that were according to dance as well. So it was up on the tables.
Yeah, it was sort of a bit of a renter crowd.
Yeah.
In average.
Lottie.
On the 3rd of June, I attended number 2 ovals inspection down in the morning, and then a photo opportunity up here for the community grants recipients, which was really good. I also thanks Councillor Meadham because you chaired the youth committee for me on the 2nd while I was sick. So on the 9th of June, I also attended online for the Roxy Redevelopment Committee meeting, and I do agree with Councillor Wright's comments. The panelists of people that we had discussing things to do with the Roxy moving forward. I think it was actually quite interesting just to listen to their feedback. So I won't go into that more, but just wanted to say thank you. I think that was really fantastic. And then on the 23rd of June, I did attend the additional youth council meeting, which was up at Roxy. I did come in a little bit late, but I did get in. Yeah, I just want to say how proud I am to see our youth council stepping out and looking forward options to give more back to the youth in our community. And they will be working together with the team at the Roxy, with Emma and Sue, on putting on some movies for the holidays and stuff with school students. And yeah, we've just got a great group there. And yeah, I think they're really trying to actually do stuff for our community for their generation. So
thank you, Councillor Lottie.
Thank you.
Good. I'll be very quick because we've got some more work to do tonight. Most of my stuff's there very quickly. The awards in Sydney, yes, that's right. We're a bit cranky in a way because we only got 12,000 people, and the awards were up to 150,000 people, and 150,000 people higher. So
A little bit better resource.
okay, that's right. And also innovation that coming through. I mean, you can text with G5 to a satellite now. That's coming down the line. Country mayors in Orange, that was good. The road networking. We had a really good time there networking, right? Alga, that was good for networking, understanding. Still a bit of a divide between the big people and the small people. We've got to speak up. Yeah, some of the bigger Wollongongs and so forth. Refugee citizenship, that was a very enjoyable part. And now I wore my green jacket for the Pride, and they went down okay, but I had a problem those big girls kissing me with the makeup on. They wipe it off.
Whoops, next time.
And community grants, well done. And remember, Art Deco is coming up, everybody.
Yes.
So thank you, everybody. That was a very quick synopsis. That's a big word, isn't it? Right, so we'll move on to confidentiality.
Yes.
So we need someone to move, into that.
And there is something to read out.
Yeah, all right.
What was that on?
Oh,
Right. Right, I'm gonna read out, that's good, you okay?
Yes, I'll move that.
I better read that first. Better read that first. Thank you, councillors. It is now a recommendation that council, one, moved into a closed council to consider business identified item 10.1, weed action program, tender submissions. Point 2, that in accordance with section 10A, 2, part C, section 10D of the Local Government Act 1993, the public and the press to be excluded from the meeting to enable council to determine items listed in confidential matter as information disclosed or commercial advantage on a person with whom the council is conducting or propose to conduct business. Point 3, that the report relevant to the subject business to be withheld from access to media and public as required by section 11.2 of the Local Government Act 1993. Can I have a mover with Councillor Kidd and a second Councillor
Councillor,
Edwards? Right, all right, good. Right, all in favour? Good, right. Now we're in Thank you, councillors.
Sorry.
We have two more confidential.
One was the golf club, bank statement.
There were attachments. There were attachments to the report. We dealt with the report
Grant, that was a.
attachment.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
The background papers for that, or two lots of background papers.
Thank you, councillors, to advise that June 2025 ordinary council meeting reopened to the public at the time being 8:52 p.m. During the closed council, there was one resolution that was passed, and the general manager will now read out the resolution made in closed council for item 10.1.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Item related to the Weed Action Program tender submissions. And council resolved tonight to award the tender for the delivery of Leeton Shire Council's Weed Action Plan Program for the period 1 July 25 to 30th of June 2030 to Priority LG Pty Limited at an annual cost of 120,000 excluding GST, with a total estimated cost of 600,000 over 5 years, subject to annual CPI adjustments. And council authorised the general manager to finalise and execute necessary documentation. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, general manager, and thank councillors.